Another stream for you today. This is, which one is this? This is Ramsey Coach Support. And I am Steve Simpson, otherwise known as Coach Steve Money, a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, also Ramsey preferred financial coach. And let's get into it. We come to Reddit. And we go to /Dave Ramsey and we sort by new. And let's see what we got. Oh, first I'll put the links in the chat to schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment. You can go to ramseycoach.com/CoachSteveMoney. Email about anything. Coach Steve Money. Have to spell it correctly or it will not work. At gmail.com. There we go. And donations. PayPal.me/Coach Steve Money. As you can see, the email is also above me right there on my webcam frame. And below on my webcam frame is the donation link, paypal.com. Nope, that's not right at all. Nope. Correction. It is paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Sorry about that. Don't think I can erase those. Can I erase that? No, I'm using Restream Chat as I simul-stream on both. YouTube and Twitch. So it does not look like I can get rid of something that I type in. All right. Okay. Anyway, the correct one is down here. It's paypal.me. Coach Steve Money. Again, email me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Alrighty, so we've gone to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey, and this Reddit, this subreddit is not run by Ramsey Solutions. It's run by fans, and they were nice enough to let me put my two songs, the Baby Step song and the John Deloney song, in the chat, and those are in my music playlist on my YouTube channel, and I'll show you those before I get out of here. Tonight I'll show you exactly where those are. Got my Diet Coke, so I'm ready to go here. Alright, this is as you can see right here, let me make sure everything's working. It looks good. Okay, it's a WWDD, which means, what would Dave do? Should I do baby step 4 in a non-retirement account or skip to baby step 6? Let's see what we got. Currently maxing out Roth IRA, approximately 7% of income. However, my job does not offer a 401k, and I can't contribute to an HSA either. Do I invest the other 8% in a non-retirement account or move on to paying off my mortgage? Some background info: 27, not married, no kids. All right, so no, the answer is you do 15%, so you would put the other 8 in a non-retirement account. Let's see what if you have any sort of your own business at all, like even as a side hustle, your own business, You can do a SEP IRA, which is for self-employment. You could do that. Other than that, if you can't do the ESA either, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, you'd have to go to a non-retirement income, and Dave, I think, would want the 15% in, and you can put all extra to the mortgage, obviously, but you are at age 27, you are in a great position there. So, yeah, let's see what other people have said. Yep, regular brokerage account and invest the rest in an index fund. That will be the most tax efficient way. Dave recommends managed mutual funds for retirement, not index funds. And invest the other 8%. Yes, Dave wants you to have 15%. Even if you have a match, you are supposed to put in 15% of your money. So even if you have like a 401k and there's any kind of match, Dave wants you to put 15% of your money, and anything extra is what he likes to call gravy on the biscuit. All right, let's go back. And online calculator. Anyone know of a simple online calculator that helps you determine when your interest earn outpaces your contribution? Basically finding the point where your monthly contributions have very little effect on the total outcome of your next nest egg in X amount of years. I mean, it's still going to have an effect on it, so you want to keep doing it. Baby step 4 never ends, so you should always be putting 15% in. But yeah, I don't know like when that would be. You would have to have a bunch in there, for it to for your monthly contributions to have very little effect, like you said. So let's see. Just look at the table. You can see at the point where your money is making more money than you are investing. Once you hit 500K, an average return is going to get you 50K of growth. Yeah, 10%. So that's that's 50,000 a year. So if you're like, for example, if you have 500K and you're just doing a Roth IRA, and you are putting in if you're 50 by that time and you're putting in 7,000, the 500K is going to make you 50K a year on 10% if you figure 10% growth. Once you hit 7 figures, your money is probably making more money than you are, and yeah, that's probably going to be about right. But I mean, you should still put it in there because it's going to keep going up. So there you go. I understand what he's doing there. I don't know exactly why he would need to know that, but yeah. So you make 100,000. If you have 100,000 in your investing account and you get the 10%, that's going to be 10,000 a year. And that itself is more than your max Roth IRA contributions. So if you just have that, if you have 401k, obviously it's going to be more. All right. Bye Nelnet. I did it. After 6 long years, I have paid off my student loans. Congratulations. On to car payoff in February 22 and fully funding emergency savings. All right. Well, that's great, C. Mitchell. It sounds like you may have done it wrong unless your car payment is, unless the amount you owed on your car was more than your student loans, and that is crazy if that happened. So probably what you should have done, we do smallest to largest on the Ramsey plan. And so the car would have been paid off first. So let's see there. See if anybody else mentioned that. But I mean, other than that, it's great, obviously, to be done with student loans. Make sure that's still going. Ramsey Solutions. Speaking of student loans, oh, you can enter to win Christmas cash. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see. Do they have that? I'm looking for. All right, well, it's not in there. Let's look at it. It's called Borrowed Future, and it is a full-length documentary from Ramsey Solutions, and there it is. Borrowed Future, how student loans are killing the American dream. And so if you have any interest, you can watch that. If you're a teacher, you can screen it for free. But it is $4.99 to rent it and watch it, and which I think gives it to you for 24 hours. I don't know how that works. I've never like rented a on-demand movie like that. Or you can buy it to watch it whenever you want to for, I think it's $14.99 on all of these platforms: Google Play, Apple TV, and Prime Video. And again, that's called Borrowed Future: How Student Loans Are Killing the American Dream. So that is great, but again, probably the car should have been paid off first, unless your student loans weren't, especially since it took 6 years to pay off the student loans. All right. Did you hear the Ramsey Show discussion for November 6th? And this is probably, let's check it out. Why not? There could be, it says no rudeness or trolling there, but who knows? So Rachel Cruz says that turmeric cures cancer. Quack Dr. Axe on our show again. All right. A lot of this is you're not supposed to know what your coworkers make. Yeah, they never, when they have employee debt-free streams, they never ask for the person's salary, because they're doing the debt-free stream right there where they work at. But yeah, this some of this area is just a place where people bitch about things they don't like, about Dave's plan, about Dave himself, about how they work the show, about how Dave runs the company, etc., etc. All right. This one, Roth 401k investments. Hey all, I will start investing in the near future as I am close to finishing building my emergency fund. I've been listening to the show for a while, and Dave always recommends mutual funds. That's correct. My 401k only has target date funds and a small, mid, large index funds. What is the consensus on Dave's investment advice? Should I open a separate Roth with Vanguard and put everything there after I get the match, just so I can invest in mutual funds? What has worked for you guys? Thanks. Edit. Just learned index funds are a type of mutual funds, relatively new to this. Thank you for pointing that out, everyone. Yeah, if you are getting the match and it only has only has target date funds, stay away from the target date funds. Because those tend to get less aggressive as you get older, and there's no need to do that if they're making, and you should know by then if they're good funds or not. But yeah, the small, mid, large index funds, and see if there's a international one. If not, you can do the international in a Roth. Doesn't have to be with Vanguard. It could be with Fidelity. That's where I have mine. It could be with any brokerage. But yeah, you can have a 401k and a Roth IRA as well. So just make sure you're investing 15% of your money if you are in, of course, step 4, which comes after step 3, which is building the emergency fund, the full emergency fund. So yeah, the small, mid, and large cap funds that's what Dave recommends. He calls them, and I can never remember which ones they are. He calls them growth, and income, and aggressive growth. I think aggressive growth is the small, and growth is mid, and growth in income is large, maybe. Anyway, but they basically, that's what it is. But all the brokerages just call them small, mid, and large. Small, mid, and large. And so index funds aren't the best choice because 40% of managed mutual funds beat them year over year. So you don't have to look too hard to find a managed mutual fund that beats it. And even if they do have higher fees, those higher percentages will cover the higher fees in general if you pick the right funds. But seems like he typed it and then learned that index funds are a type of mutual funds. So yeah, index funds are mutual funds, but Dave recommends manage for retirement. If you are using the market to save for a purchase that you're going to be saving at least 5 years for, Dave is fine with that. And he does recommend an S&P index fund for that. Let's see, just divide it between the index fund, that person says, and invest in asset class with a higher return potential, such as emerging markets inside your Roth 401k bucket that is tied to your contributions, as those monies will eventually all be tax-free. He does not have a Roth 401k. This person seemed to think it was a Roth 401k. He doesn't say a Roth 401k. He says a 401k and then open a separate Roth IRA. So that wouldn't apply there. All right. And this person told him the index fund targeted for our mutual funds, right? So, doom-ba-dum-bum-bum. You should evaluate your 401k to determine how good it is. Yeah, definitely. So, and you can have another one. You can have that Roth IRA, as I said. So, you could do both, and then as you learn more about it, you can figure out if the managed mutual funds that you've picked inside of your Roth IRA are doing better. Then you can maybe put more money into those. If you wanted to later, you should, of course, get a professional to teach you about this. And you can get that SmartVestor Pro from Dave Ramsey's website, Ramsey Solutions. Okay, so like the target date funds are okay, but you can do much better if you do the research and pick the right funds yourself. Yeah, if you can. Yeah, if you can. You basically, with any mutual fund, you want to have at least a 10-year track record, and you want that constant good return, ROI, return on investment. Yeah, and there's like I said, Dave recommends the even split, growth and income, aggressive growth and international, right? And like I said, these are not necessarily in that order, but these are small, mid, and large cap. Okay. Again, the target date fund, yeah, it starts putting you in bonds as you get older, and why do that? your other fund, your mutual fund should be doing just fine by then, and so there's no reason to think that they wouldn't continue to do it just because you're older. Okay, so this says mid cap is the aggressive growth. All right. And the dividend growth and growth index fund, I don't know necessarily that that's right there, what he has right there. All right, generally this person doesn't like target date. Yeah, it contains some bonds and doesn't buy or own any bonds or recognize them. Large, mid, and small cap funds are where it's at, and of course international. All right. Everybody's saying basically the same thing. Alrighty, this from Pen Artist. 7 hours ago, WWDD, what would Dave do as far as general savings? Let's find out. Get a little beverage here first. Background, married, mid-50s, 0 debt. 1 year emergency fund, too much. Too much to have 1 year. You need 3 to 6 months of expenses unless you have crazy, unless you have drama in your life or your job situation. 1 year is too much. 15% going to retirement, on track to retire in 10.5 years, everyday millionaire. So that will be, what, 65-ish or something like that. So that's fine, but you should just have that extra 6 months of emergency fund. Should be working for you somehow. Okay, we do not currently own a home and have absolutely no interest in home ownership at this time. So do you have a 20% down payment saved up? I wonder if that's part of the 1 year emergency fund or separately. If not, they could put that in a non-retirement. If they're maxed on retirement, they could put that 20% down payment in a, as I talked about earlier, an S&P index fund, and if they're not planning on using it for 5 years, it should be fine in the market because the market has always been up in any 5-year period. So that's Dave's stance on that. If you're saving up for a purchase, so they could do that, yeah. So if there's no home, they are in baby step 7. So, and you can rent and be in baby step 7 because you don't have sinking funds to pay cash for a replacement vehicle. So we have here we go. We have a 1 year emergency fund in a money market account. The 1 year is because some health issue that can affect ability to work and feel more secure with a big RE fund. It depends on how big the health issue is. I mean, like Dave would say that it's well, not for that. He says it has to be for you to pause the baby steps, it has to be a 51% chance of you losing your job to do that. But as far as the health issue, I don't know. I wouldn't want to speculate on what the health issue is and how likely it would be that your ability to work would be affected. So I won't say anything about that, but I would just really strongly consider it whether to keep that 1 year emergency fund. But even if you do, it looks like you're going to be fine to retire in 10.5 years, everyday meeting. But it seems like you're not. I think what they're saying is they will be an everyday millionaire by that time when they retire. So based on that, I'm thinking you could just do better, and so you could put the 6 months of that emergency fund into the market in a non-retirement investing account. definitely that 20%. If it's not part of the emergency fund, that's so much cash sitting around doing nothing. Even if it is in a money market account, that's not enough. So that would be something to consider, putting it in the market. Money set aside to play. See, talk about all this money. If that's all in addition to your 1 year emergency fund, yep, $12.50 a vet sinking fund. Pet scan costs a lot of money. Yep, so 2 months worth of expenses on a checking account as a minimum balance. Yeah, that's right. How much? Oh, and the question was about general savings. I forgot about it. How much should we have in a general savings account? No apostrophe there, because it doesn't belong to the saving. It's only apostrophe when it's a contraction or if it belongs. But this is not spelling coach, which I should do that one as well, I guess. But in addition to what I mentioned above, how much should you have in a general savings account in addition to what you don't need one? If you have a year, if all this is separate, if you have a year emergency fund, that's already too much. But then on top of that, you got these sinking funds to pay for a replacement vehicle. So that doesn't really count because you're going to use that to pay cash for a replacement vehicle. So consider that gone. Consider that money gone. So that doesn't come into it. And that's not even going to happen until retirement, because it's a 2018 Toyota RAV4. Look at you. Less than 21,000, so you should be fine on that. So there's probably not that much in there yet either. If they're sinking fund, that means they're putting a little bit to it every month in the budget. And the paying the cash for the dental work and the dog fund, and then also on top of that 2 months worth of expenses. If that's on top of it as well, then yeah, you're fine. You're fine. General savings account, that would just be the emergency fund is all you need there. And so any other money you can invest. Let's see what other people say. David Ramsey advice: no more than 6 months plus sinking funds. Invest the rest. There you go. What's this about a house? You have the down payment, I presume, in a bank, but you have no interest in home ownership. Why do you have 20% down payment? Maybe they, just in case they wanted to own a house. So yeah, we may want to at some point. It takes years to save up. At this point, 20% won't buy much, and when we're really ready, we will most likely need more than we have. Right, which you should. That's why you should invest it, so then it'll make it. All right. Yeah, $0. You have what appears to be a massive amount already sitting in cash, losing value. Your car fund is 10 years away. I'd figure a reasonable amount of this to have in cash, and the rest put in the total stock market index fund. I don't know about that, but S&P is what Dave recommends for any non-retirement investing. I agree. This person in baby step 7 used a much larger amount when you're ready to make purchases, right? Right. Every dollar needs to have a name, so you'll only be saving for specific things that you can see on the horizon, not beyond. Anything longer than 5 years out should be invested, and less than that, if you can change your purchase date. If it's a bad time to cash out, right? If the market's down, you can just say, oh, well, we won't get a house now. We'll wait till the market recovers in a few years. If that's the case. So doing very well, though, apparently. Lots of cash staying around. Daily non-baby steps, Dave and Company discussion thread. This is the kind of thing that probably is not good. So I'm going to stay away from that one comment. Does credit really reset itself every 7 years? Or that's just old wives' tale? There's all kinds of stuff that happens with credit scores. It doesn't it won't automatically be gone by a certain amount of time. Let's see. There have been some people in the chat that have done a debt-free scream, the Ramsey Show chat on YouTube. Let's see if I can. We'll see. Baby step 3 for this person. Is there anybody on here who's done a scream in person? Did you actually get to meet Dave other than the interview? Our pal Kelly did do a debt-free scream. Dave was not there. That was, I believe, one of Anthony O'Neill's last shows. And I believe that was his last time that there was a debt-free scream on there when he was on there. I believe. So she got to meet AO. I think he was hosting solo that day as well. And did you think it was worth it? I'm scheduled for a debt-free scream at about a month that I can either do in person or over the phone. Given the timing of when mine is scheduled, if I made a 2 or 3 day turnaround trip to do it, would be about 1K to 1.5K to go to Nashville to do the scream. It is the studio is in Franklin, Tennessee, which is, I believe, just outside of Nashville. Friends all think I should go and do it in person for the experience, but for starters, I'm just not sure that's what I'm going to spend $1,000 on when there's things I'm also hoping to buy. Yeah, it all depends on you. I would think it would be cool because then you could also enjoy some Nashville, especially if you like country music. But they also have other kind of music there. And a lot of times when you've done this whole payoff debt thing, especially if it's taken you, multiple years to get that done, it's a big thing. I personally didn't go. I didn't even apply to try to do it on the phone and so forth. So because my ex-wife and we did pay off $72,000 in 3 years, but since I didn't want to do it since we were not married anymore. So I didn't think it would be a good idea. But for starters, I'm just not sure that's what other stuff I'm hoping to buy. While it would be cool to do it in person, it also seems kind of silly to spend that amount of money just to get to do a 10-minute interview. Well, you can stay there the whole day, like even before, and that's certainly what I would do. Even you can hang out there the entire day. Ken Coleman does his show before the Ramsey show happens from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Ken Coleman does his show before that. So you can stay there the whole day, really. Or you can do other stuff, like I said, Nashville and so forth. But yeah, if you were just going to walk in the building, do the 10-minute interview, and then walk out, and then that's all you would do, yeah, I probably wouldn't do it either if I was going to do that. If I could turn it into a whole big vacation, that would be nice, but I can't do that logistically at that time. Do you think I will regret doing it over the phone? Not forking over the cash to be able to say did it in person. I'd love to hear from somebody who did a scream. Let's see if anybody did. This person's wife and he did it in September. We'll link the show if you can find it. We were already heading through Nashville and figured it would be a good way to share our story. Pretty anticlimactic and felt like would have been all right without doing it, but proved to be a good conversation starter with friends and family. I'd only spend that if you really want to go to Nashville anyway. Other things you spend $1,000 on. This person disappointed by Nashville. Couldn't find that anyone good. Did the same in Memphis, New Orleans, Austin. Found great musicians every night, but not in Nashville, I guess. Wife and I paid off the romantic balance on our house. We married, which was $300K. However, once they found out we were a lesbian couple, person I was talking to no longer returned my call to continue planning. Right, they are religious over there, Christian religious, at the Ramsey Solutions, so that does make sense. Phone $1,500 can easily be spent somewhere else. Yeah, and it just depends on the person. I mean, you can't afford it, as you have a full emergency fund at that point. So yeah. I mean, and especially if you're in the middle of the year, you can because you're on baby step 4, you could put that $1,500 immediately into retirement investing, and that would get you to the max closest. A lot of people don't realize that you can contribute for the previous tax year. You can contribute to that investing account until tax day of the next year. So like until April 15th, 2022, you can still contribute to retirement accounts for 2021. It's going to be on a show that Dave is on. So yeah, they do tell you who's scheduled to be on that day, but sometimes changes do happen. Yep. Yeah. This person be disappointed if sure first debt-free screaming Dave wasn't there. The screen is super cringy. It's not. I don't think it is. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. Yeah. Celebrating the end of your journey is for tools and lighten up, Francis. That's from Stripes. Yep. Oh, you could drive. Yeah, if you're close enough, you could drive and save some flight money. All right, this is a long thread about this. Definitely, you could make it a vacation as well. Yeah. So short turnaround trip. Yeah, that's it too. If you just have, I think our chat friend Kelly, she didn't stay there that long either. So, but I don't think she regrets it at all. And it's probably different if you are the type of person that spends a lot of time in the Ramsey Show YouTube chat. You probably you live it more than the average person, so that's boom, 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 boom. No moronic Monday. This, I guess, is a regular weekly topic, to place to ask all the questions that are either just downright silly or too small to warrant their own thread, and no question is too dumb unless a quick web search at DaveRamsey.com answers it, or the Dave Ramsey frequently asked questions list or subreddit wiki already answered it, or it violates this subreddit rules. But nobody commented there. Borrowed future, a waste of time. I have not seen it yet, so this person thinks it's a waste of time. They make this out to be a documentary, but honestly, it is more so a fear-mongering hype piece. It is entirely focused on student debt, as I'm sure you know. Yeah, that's so there. So what do they talk about? Debt is bad. That's it. It's true. It is bad. Let's see. How much do Ramsey personalities get paid? It doesn't matter. And then ranking them, etc., etc. All right, here's another question. Baby step 6. they have the flare here. See, you can put your thing on that your little tag that shows what baby step you are on, and this is John Wick Lives Here. We are on baby step 6 and live in San Antonio, Texas, home of Maddie and I forgot her husband's name, but she is debt-free granny, and they went to they had a debt-free stream. They were also featured on a Turning Point video, and those are still on. They don't make those Turning Points anymore, but those are still on YouTube, so you can find that one. Like I said, her name is Maddie, and I can't remember the other guy, but they are from San Antonio, and I can't remember if that mentioned on there, but you will know her if you see her because she has a jacket on, but underneath the jacket, in some of the scenes, she is wearing her blue YouTube Crazies t-shirt. So anyway, this person annually makes $200K gross combined, and have 2 children under the age of 3, have a rental property currently leased with $79K left to pay on it and a 15-year note. House we live in has $165 left with a 15-year note. I was just offered a job that required us to move 4 hours away in Fort Worth, Texas. Our income would be the same, so it's a lateral move, but an opportunity that would make my husband much happier. Now what? Should we sell one of the houses in San Antonio, or just buy another one in Fort Worth while leasing out the other 2? Accumulating more debt sounds awful, yes, but I know that in about 10 years, the other 2 properties we have could generate a nice stream of monthly income if we lease them both out while we live in another city, and you don't have people destroying them, you don't have other problems while trying to be long distance landlording, which Dave does not recommend. You don't buy just to not rent. You don't buy just so you are getting equity in something. It's not worth going to debt in. He probably suggests selling both of those, and then if you're gonna stay in, but you haven't been in Fort Worth, so you don't necessarily know if you like it. He says live in the place a year before you decide if you want to buy there, because you never know. You never know. You don't want to collect houses as you go from place to place trying to see if you like living there or not. But let's to get back into it. As baby step 6, that's not actually baby step 6, because baby step 6 is paying off your home mortgage, not a rental property mortgage. A rental property mortgage is baby step 2. So you have less to pay on that one than your residential house, but yeah, that's why you don't get a mortgage to have a rental property. And granted, they may have had that before they found Dave and knew his advice, or maybe they still don't realize that's the advice. He will not yell at you for getting a mortgage on a residence that you live in, but you don't get a mortgage on a rental property. You just buy those in cash in full. So granted, you might have to wait a while for that, but then again, you don't have all this. You don't have all the risk involved. What if your tenant destroys the house? What if you have a problem getting the rent? What if this breaks? What if that breaks? What if, et cetera, et cetera. I know insurance will cover some of that, but still, that's your point there. So, and then it's a different discussion as well. So, then if you didn't do that, you could have a house that has more paid off on it as well. So, yeah, I mean, if you don't think you're coming back to San Antonio, maybe sell both of them. But you don't want to go collecting houses, especially like the military people. And I know people that have done that, where they go get stationed somewhere, sometimes even for a year, and they think they got to buy a house there. So let's see what people think. Hear many of these landlords' horror stories, don't fully understand. Buy good properties, have an inspected, thoroughly vet new tenant background. Yeah, but you can't keep up with regular maintenance. Sure. But you can vet a new tenant and then they still have problems. And then they still go crazy after, they choose their time to lose their mind in your property instead of beforehand, so that you wouldn't rent to them. So it's not a walk in the park, as it does require work, right? But what doesn't, that makes money. Oh, requiring some work, yeah. And most landlords are leveraged up, maybe they're supposed to be leveraged up and barely making any money, and then take subpar tenants combined with lack of upgrade, because no fun and no money, right? You'll regret selling them, not necessarily. If you were YOU''RE, if you were okay being a landlord, and it's also being out of town landlord as well. Dave does not recommend. Realtor told one time his biggest regret was selling his homes. He wish he could have kept them. Yeah, I mean, and right now it's probably as much money as you could get for them if you sold them. But yeah, I don't think Dave's methods are geared towards landlords or people that are in that type of financial situation. Sure they are. Sure they are. He loves real estate. He has a ton of it. Borrowing money, but he'd say borrowing money to invest. Yeah. No borrowing money for a rental home. Yeah, with the profit from both, buy you a home outright in Fort Worth. If so, sell them. If not, keep them and get a property manager. Let that equity go. Yeah, you got to pay a property manager, and so some of your profits are gonna be taken out, because it's got to be used to pay the profit. Unfortunately, the profit wouldn't be enough to buy a home in Fort Worth outright, but it would. I don't know why. Oh. It depends on, you might want to be trying to get too much house. But yeah, 14 years left on both. So he either got them or refinanced just a year ago. Yeah, they definitely were not doing it right. This gentleman used to share, or a female, used to share an office with a guy who owned a rental property in another state, and it was a long-distance landlord. It seemed like he was on the phone with the tenants or property management company every single day. It was always something. Overgrown grass, plumbing problems, shingles blown off by a storm, trying to find new tenants, etc. I don't know how much money he was getting from the property, but I know he was getting tons of stress and frustration. Absolutely. Yeah. It wouldn't be worth it to me. I know it wouldn't be worth it to me. Not long distance, and definitely not having a mortgage on it. I'm definitely selling that one. Let's see. Helping in-laws with retirement planning. What time is it? Okay. Go for like another 11 minutes, would be an hour. Helping in-laws plan for retirement. Hi everyone, my wife and I are trying to help her parents plan for retirement. Her mom is 60 and dad is 58. They have little money currently saved for retirement as of now, and only my father-in-law works, making $145K a year. 60 and 58. We're going to help them open IRAs and start saving for retirement. So they haven't really. He said they have very little. They have little money currently saved for retirement as of now. Okay, open IRAs and start saving for retirement. Planning on opening a Roth IRA for her dad and a spousal IRA for her mom, and setting the recurring contributions to reach the max of $7,000 for each account for the year. That would save them $14,000 per year, but I was thinking they should work to save at least 20% of the $145,000 salary. Absolutely. Well, the remaining $15,000 just go to a brokerage account. Yeah, it'll have to, unless they can, if they can contribute to a health savings account. Could do that. I'm assuming the father-in-law's job doesn't offer a 401k. And he does work for somebody, it sounds like. But if it's his business, as I said before, he could do a SEP. That's the self-employment. Let's see what we got. Open up multiple Roth IRA, so that may be an option. 401k, HSA, there you go. Next is a taxable account, yep. HSA. Yeah. The thing about advice that people give when they start talking about stocks, they always talk about what they do. Like, he doesn't say, yes, a taxable brokerage account and things that Dave would recommend or that kind of thing, or with recommended or with good options there. No, it's always at Vanguard. It's where they have it. I mean, I've said I have it at Fidelity, but it doesn't really. All brokerages are about the same, so that really doesn't matter. But at Vanguard and in the total, invested in exactly what I have my stuff in. So that's what people do a lot. 60, they're not losing a ton of compounding, so paying off the house by 7. Yeah, get that house paid off, definitely. Delay taking Social Security until age 70, yeah, as much as possible, yep. Traditional IRA is better than a Roth IRA for them, assuming there is no employer provider option that negates the tax deduction of a traditional IRA. That's false. The growth, even in the limited time, the growth on the Roth is going to be better. They're better off paying taxes and investments after retirement when they will be in a lower tax bracket than they are now. Yeah, but it's still going to be 15 years, so I would want all that to be tax free, even though it's going to be in a lower tax bracket. Zero taxes on it is better than being in a low tax bracket and having to pay some tax on it. That's Bonnie. That's one of the mods for the Dave Ramsey subreddit. They think that this person thinks the IRA is better for them than Roth too. 403B or TSP, yeah. That's like a military 401k, military, or like a government version of the 401k is what those are. Alrighty. 25% rule to buy a house. Okay, let me try to guess. Is this some kind of, do we get a pass on math because we live in California and New York or something like that? Maybe. We'll see. This might be the last one. Hello! Hello! When trying to buy a house on Dave's terms, does the 25% of take-home pay include stuff like water bills and taxes, or do we only look at the mortgage? Yeah, does the mortgage, taxes, and insurance? So, like, what the total payment would be each month. You look at everything that normally covered by rent: mortgage, insurance, homeowners association, taxes, not utilities you pay either way. Correct. So, take-home pay, gross income minus taxes, no other deductions. Yeah. Yep. PMI too, private mortgage insurance, which is insurance not for you for the mortgage, but for the lender for the mortgage in case you don't pay it. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum. Why would the 25% include PMI if the guidelines also say you should put down enough money to not have PMI? Because that's not, he doesn't require 20% down to pay for first-time home buyers. 10% is fine, but you are going to pay the PMI. That's right, Dave. Dave does not require 20% down. Oh, let's see. So, boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. Okay. So, okay, well, he didn't, so I was wrong. So this wasn't somebody trying to skirt the 25% rule. They were just looking for clarification. Cool. What time is it? 3 till. Let's, my feelings on the Dave Ramsey show. Doesn't matter. I see political, but not to get too political here, but religious multimillionaires who think the tax cuts are being, okay. Some people think that the religious stuff, some people think that your political stuff is just as bad as their religious stuff. So I just wanted to clarify something. If you buy a car 4 years ago for $30,000 and sell it today for $26,000, you did not spend $1,000 a year to own it, unless you did not insure the vehicle, fill the tank up, or maintain the vehicle. You spend much more than $1,000 a year to have the vehicle. This is called total cost of ownership, which isn't really talked about enough. So what about it? What about it? So if I had everything together, my car cost me just under $3,000 a year to drive 4,500 miles a year. Pay-as-you-go insurance isn't available in New York State. Okay. All right. No. It was somebody that had a issue with that or something. Anyone else bored with Dave Ramsey? This person is bored with Dave Ramsey, but is still going on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. So, okay, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt here, since he's been debt-free for about 2 years now, and it's been great. However, just can't listen to Dave anymore. Is anybody else dealing with this? Wish the app would highlight which episode is new or a rerun. Yeah, I don't think it does that for, like, if you're not watching it live. And when I say live, of course, I mean 2-hour delay for the video on YouTube or the app. And especially if you watch it a day later or something like that. I don't know that it says that, but when it's the show the same day, it says previously recorded in the upper right on the video. So read his book, Total One Makeover, and that's it. I tried listening to him, but he's very annoying. I follow his baby steps, and that's it. I'm sure he's fine with that. If you're following the baby steps, that's great. That's great. You're at least not letting him annoying you get in the way, getting between you and his good advice. So that's great. He stopped listening when he told people to sell their Bitcoins. Yep. He helped you get out of debt. That's what he does. He's turning more and more into an old man, yells at cloud type. He's barely 60. I can't imagine what he'd be like continued. He's always been like that. Find his focus seems to be on steps 1, 2, and 3, and more often than not. Probably makes sense based on circumstances within the past 1.5 years ago. I do listen from time to time just for entertainment. Yeah, a lot of people think that, yeah, he's just the get out of debt guy. And then once it's investing, you have to do more, non-simple things once you do, but you don't have to do more non-simple. His simple plans will work for everybody, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how much of an individual you are, you can still be successful with the same thing that all us stupid people do. Wife and I are on baby step 7. We still listen to every episode with Dave or John in it. We skip most of the others, though. We don't dislike the other personalities. They just aren't as charismatic, and there are lots of other things you can listen to. Sure. I feel like it depends where you are in the baby steps. Everyone comes in and out of listening at some point. For me, I listen to at least 30 hours of podcasts a week on average. That's a lot, dog. Whew. So I go in and out of different podcasts frequently, and will come back to Dave and binge what I miss. I will say I'm starting to like the host more now, and I no longer skip the episodes. Cool. Yeah, I watch it every day. I'm at work anytime. Sometimes I miss some stuff because of work stuff, but a lot of times I can sit there and chat in the YouTube chat, and made a bunch of friends in there as well. And so I watch it every day. It's great for keeping you focused on stuff. The Annihilating Tomato, I listen to it when there's nothing else to listen to. I do feel like he victim shames student loan borrowers, though. He just doesn't agree with student loans. That's all. He tells them tells people to don't get a student loan. The people that got a student loans, he just says pay it off. That's not really victim shaming them. Victim shaming. How are they a victim of it? I mean, you know, they could have been a kid and signed, 18-year-old kid, and signed for the thing. That's legal age to sign a document, and you sign that document, you owe that money. David definitely showed me the way when I started listening 5 years ago, but when he fired Hogan, it kind of rubbed him the wrong way about his company. Well, Chris didn't follow the rules that the agreement that they all agreed on. Actually, I believe it. I don't quote me on this. I'm not sure. Also, I wasn't there, but the way I heard it, his wife decided not to go along with what she had previously agreed on, and now I think they're divorced or something. So there's not much I don't think that Chris could have done about it. But that's, the way it goes. They couldn't do that anymore. So, archaic attitude towards women I found unforgivable. That's interesting, since he has not only his daughter, but Christy Wright on there. Plus, there's a brand new personality that's a female that's on there. So I don't know. And there's no you in rumor in the United States. Of course, Reddit is all over. This could be a British person or something. So, yep. This person invested while in baby step 2. So, it wasn't in baby step 2 because he wasn't doing the baby steps. Which is fine. As long as it works out for him, it's fine. New personality so far, except Anthony O'Neill, I enjoy, especially when he is with Dave. This one day ago, Anthony O'Neill left a long time ago, as of his own accord, and he is still friends with them. He was highly featured in Borrowed Future. and he was back at Ramsey Solutions when they watched the stat when they had the staff showing of Borrowed Future ahead of time. So boom, 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 boom. All right. Better than nothing makes this person more mad than when callers say better than I deserve. Also, it's better than, not better than. Then is a time or conditional. Better than, THAN, than is comparative. Better than I deserve. That's two different things. Better and then what I deserve. Two different things, so that's better than. Then is a time or a condition. Like if you do that, then this result will happen. That kind of thing. Or I used to be more patient back then. See, I might have to do spelling. I might have to do spelling support one of these days. We'll see. I'm kidding. That would be pretty boring. Used to enjoy his show, even though it was repetitive, but then COVID happened and he became anti-mask, anti-vax, and apparently anti-empathy. Alright, so you let your... That's fine. There's a whole thing about him firing that pregnant lady. I just cannot in good conscience continue to support him. Unsubscribe podcast. Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. She broke the rules of working there. The rules were known ahead of time before she started working there. He's allowed to run his business the way he wants to. So, anyway. All right. So, yeah, and this person too, I would recommend finding other money philosophy podcasts while building your emergency fund. That way, when you get to baby step 4, you'll know what to do. You don't need to change advisors. He is fully qualified for that. Dave is the only advice you need. So I don't even know why I'm selling this sub. So you can say you don't even know why you're selling the sub. Maybe. I moved on to other podcasts. Oh, this person finds him. He's a great coach and motivator. Always has an interesting perspective, even if he always doesn't agree. The personalities, though, are pretty bad. I disagree. If they aren't talking about their expertise, then they are just parroting Dave and following a script. Sure. Well, what do you think? All right. So, still need a plan to help us retire early, so I turned to the fire community. So, yeah, you didn't have to do that. You would have been fine. Alrighty. Any people following Dave Ramsey's principles in high cost of living areas? Probably there could theoretically be less. I've gone a little longer than an hour. I see that now. But anybody following Dave Ramsey's principles in high cost of living areas, and I would assume that there would be less simply because he doesn't give you a break because you live in there. If you live in a high cost of living area, you need to be making a high cost of living salary. And so you don't get a break on the percentages by doing that. So yeah, it'll take me years to get to 20% down on a 15-year mortgage with payments being a quarter of take-home pay. Make more money there if you want to live in the high cost of living area. So there you go. As far as not using leverage, is investing of rental property, $1 million. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're not investing anything in cash. Yeah, hey, I mean that's the deal. Nobody's telling you to get $1 million house as your first rental unit. So that's your deal. Let's see if anybody agrees with me on that. Los Angeles. Boom, boom, boom. Think we're going Davish on the house. Sure, what's about there? All good points. Boom, boom, boom. Bought a house with a friend in a high cost of living area. Oh! I was so sick of renting in landlords. Oh, thank you. Alright, so New York City. You're free to ignore Dave all you want. Sure, absolutely. Everybody can do what they want to with their own money. And I have friends that don't follow Dave Ramsey at all. I have clients that don't follow Dave Ramsey to the letter. They don't follow all my advice even. They're still my clients. They so it's their money, it's their choice. I give them the advice. But it's up to the person that owns the money to figure out what to do with it. So anyway, yeah, you're free to ignore it. But here's the thing. As you start going outside, what he recommends, the plan starts coming apart. Once you get to baby step 4, are you still going to put away 15%? Or baby step 5, how will you save for college? There are reasons behind these numbers. The plan is not easy. Avoiding debt is never easy. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So if you start changing around the percentages, if you buy too much house, you don't have as much to invest. You don't have as much to put away for kid college. And you have a harder time getting the house paid off early, which are all tenets of the Ramsey plan. So I think it's okay to do a 30-year mortgage, but also it's okay to credit card, so I'm David-ish. You think? Just a little bit. So, yeah, 15-year mortgage, payment no more than 25% of your net income. You do net income when you figure out mortgage payment, and you do gross income when you figure out 15% of income, gross income for investing. All right, so let's why don't we go to my channel? Hey, look, it's me. Look, it's me talking about me, talking about me, talking about me. What was I going to say? Oh, as far as Ramsey stuff, in my music playlist, the latest 3 editions, things in there are, these are 2 things that I recorded with my VHS camcorder in 1993. And 2 great songs by a band called Thrill Cat. Love 'em, love 'em, love 'em. What up, Mikey B? What up, Bill Rockamora? What up, Doug Grober? The Dave Ramsey Baby Step song. Temporary lyric video. Both these are temporary lyric videos. I'm going to make them better. And the John Deloney song. And also me reacting to John Deloney's reaction to the John Deloney song. So those are in my music playlist. Also, I do a thing called the Ramsey Show After Show. And I do that every weekday after the Ramsey Show YouTube video ends, which is at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And I do that live every weekday, even when there's a replay, such as the case was today, and maybe the rest of the week, since Dave and crew are in Florida for the Entree Leadership event. So I also do other stuff. I do video gaming. I have the Old Man Video Gaming series. I finished Among the Sleep. I am currently playing Dark, D-A-R-Q, which is still free on epicgames.com. You can get a free account there and claim that free game. And I'm playing Lost in Random and PC Building Simulator currently. And every Monday I'm alternating Ramsey support with tech support. I do My full-time job is I am a PC repair tech, and so I am alternating Ramsey coach support along with tech support, and I do the same thing I did tonight, except I don't go to the Dave Ramsey subreddit. I go to the tech support subreddit and talk about that stuff as well. So I love to run my mouth, in case you didn't notice. Anything else? Do I have anything else to say? Don't think so. Again, the links are on are at the top of the chat, the YouTube chat on this video. Also right here on my YouTube banner, schedule free consultation is right there, and that will take you to ramseycoach.com/CoachSteveMoney. The PayPal link right here for donations, since I'm not monetized yet on either YouTube or Twitch, and Instagram is right there. The link is right there, and that is Coach Steve Money, no spaces, on Twitter and on Instagram. And make smart financial decisions every day. You guys have a good